Do you mind talking a little bit about the book and some of the ideas in your book?
So it would be fair to say that when we started, we didn't know the solution. Ian had a view that if people work together and they trust each other, you get better outcomes. But they were concerned about whether, if there was no tendering, what would keep the supplier or contractor sharp and the lowest price and fair. We didn't know at that time whether that would be the right answer, but we sensed that if people are treated well, they'll do their best. And so we had 7 of those contractors who were told they would get ongoing work, which as a supplier, that's lovely news because they don't have to go out and market and go through that tender process, which is predominantly unproductive. They might win 1 in 5, but they've got to spend hundreds of hours and they don't get paid for that. So then they have to top load the ones that they do get. Construction industry is full of making your money through variances, often via the courts. It's a relatively hostile environment. Ian wanted to change all that and not have variances and have everything done up front. So what we did was, for them coming in and with no tenders, what they had to give in return was their intellectual property early on in the cycle. So normally what happens is a contractor bids when the plan is done, the concept plan is done. Whereas what they were asked to do was work with the architect and the engineer to build the plans and build the drawings. So then there would be a budget done of building. So in contrast, they used to build from an unsighted plan. Now they were building from a plan they created. And not surprisingly, the construction process went incredibly well and efficiently and effectively without any issues, and faster than we had programmed.
Sort of skin in the game.
So everyone had skin in the game. And it changed. The philosophy was, rather than you working for yourself and trying to make your profit without regard for anybody else, we'll create an environment where the team will be successful and we will work with each other and be conscious of we. So if we all do the right thing, we'll all benefit, and that's what actually happened over a 5-year process. To the degree that the contractors saw themselves still working for the builder, but they also saw responsibility for fellow contractors, because if they promised, so the one rule in the project was, if you make a promise, you must keep it, and if you can't keep it, you have to go back and renegotiate that promise with that contractor. So therefore what happened was a very high trust environment. Most of the duplication and waste disappeared, and that's why some of them reduced their price over that 5-year period by up to 25%, but they made more profit. So their businesses grew, they made more profit, but they were charging less to the builder, who then was constructing at a cheaper price up to about 7%. So it was about, if we had a $100 million spend, it was a $7 million spend for the builder. And the supplier got the benefit of 5 years' work. The builder didn't get that benefit in the first project, only the suppliers did. But then when they priced the next project, they priced at a lower level than they had done the first time, because now the waste was gone. And so that was quite and lots of performance management, lots of feedback systems, lots of things that we're here to talk about were part of what happened in the book.
Excellent. So that's what I was hoping to sort of lead into now, is perhaps how some of the ideas in your book can give us insights about effective performance review